2 Corinthians chapter 3. Have you ever wondered about the story your life tells? Each of us has a unique path, filled with triumphs, challenges, and countless lessons. But what if I told you that your life is more than just a collection of experiences? According to this chapter, your life is like a letter written by Christ Himself, a message of hope and transformation for the world to see. Today, we'll dive into this powerful chapter and uncover its life-changing truths. From the freedom the Spirit brings to the glory of transformation, this passage holds lessons that can inspire us to live more boldly, authentically, and purposefully. So let's explore together what it means to truly reflect God's glory in our daily lives. We are letters of Christ. You show that you are a letter from Christ, the result of our ministry, written not with ink, but with the Spirit of the living God, not on tablets of stone, but on tablets of human hearts. And Paul uses a metaphor to describe believers as letters written by Christ. And these letters are not physical documents, but spiritual messages written on the hearts of those who follow Him. Now, what does this mean for us? Well, luckily, it means that your life is a testimony to God's work. It's not about what you say, it's about how you live. Every choice, every act of kindness, every moment of integrity is a reflection of Christ's influence in your life. You might be the only letter some people will ever read. Your actions and attitudes may be the way they see God's love. Confidence through Christ, not ourselves. Not that we are competent in ourselves to claim anything for ourselves, but our competence comes from God. And here, Paul reminds us that our ability to serve and minister doesn't come from our own strength or qualifications, but from God. He is the source of our confidence and equips us for His purposes. So, how does this affect us? Well, many of us feel unworthy or inadequate, don't we? Especially when it comes to sharing our faith or making a difference in the world. This verse assures us that it's not about being perfect. God works through us despite our flaws. And when you rely on Him, He will give you the strength, wisdom, and courage to fulfill your purpose. The new covenant brings life, not death. The letter kills, but the Spirit gives life. Now here, Paul contrasts the Old Covenant, which was based on the law, with the New Covenant, which is based on the Spirit. The Old Covenant reveals humanity's sinfulness, but could not save. The New Covenant, established through Jesus, brings life and freedom. Now, how can we apply this? Well, sometimes we focus on rules, perfection, or trying to earn God's approval. But this passage reminds us that it's not about what we can do. It's about what Christ has already done. The Spirit empowers us to live a life of grace, not guilt. The glory of the new covenant. If the ministry that brought condemnation was glorious, how much more glorious is the ministry that brings righteousness? Now, Paul uses the example here of Moses, who veiled his face after receiving the law because the glory of the old covenant was fading. But the glory of the new covenant, revealed through Jesus Christ, is eternal and transformative. So consider this. The glory of the new covenant doesn't fade. It grows stronger. And as believers, we carry this glory with us wherever we go. We don't need to hide it or be ashamed. Instead, we can live boldly, knowing that God's power is at work within us. freedom in the Spirit. Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Now here, this verse declares the incredible freedom that comes from living in the Spirit. It's not a freedom to do whatever we want, but a release from fear, shame, and the burden of trying to earn God's love. Now, how do we live this freedom? Well, living in the Spirit means letting go of fear, guilt, and striving for perfection. It's all about trusting God's love and guidance and stepping out in faith. Imagine the peace and joy that comes when you realize you're fully accepted and loved by God. Transformation through God's glory. And we all, who with unveiled faces contemplate the Lord's glory, are being transformed into His image with ever-increasing glory, which comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit. So, Paul ends this chapter with an incredible promise. As we focus on God's glory, we are being transformed into His image. This transformation is ongoing, a daily process of becoming more like Christ. And you know, transformation doesn't happen overnight, but every moment spent in God's presence brings us closer to His likeness. And as we read His Word, like we do here every day, pray and worship, His character begins to shine through us. And over time, we reflect His love, kindness, and truth more and more. So, as we close, let's pause and reflect. What story is your life telling right now? Are you living as a letter from Christ, written in His Spirit? Are you embracing the freedom and transformation that comes from His glory? In this chapter, we're reminded that we are not defined by our weaknesses or failures, but by the incredible work God is doing within us. He has written His message of grace and hope on your heart, and He invites you to live it out boldly. So, as you spend time in His presence and let His Spirit guide you, ask yourself how can I reflect God's glory in my words, actions, and choices? And remember, the more you focus on Him, the more His glory will shine through you. So go forth as living letters, boldly reflecting the freedom, love, and glory of Christ. May His Spirit continue to transform you and inspire those around you. Amen. It's beautiful, isn't it? It just is. Every day I just love reading the Word because it just gets more and more beautiful and precious to our current circumstance, right? I'm so glad you were here today. I was looking for you. I love to see you every day. You make my life better because we have an incredible opportunity to share together. And these are the types of experiences that make the world a better place. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll be back tomorrow with 2 Corinthians chapter 4. And I can't wait to see you. It's going to be the best part of my day. I hope it's a great part of your day as well. See you tomorrow. Take care.